Hello students. Now we'll take the next example, and this problem again is actual IT problem. This is an IT question that we're going to solve. And now in this particular determinant, what we find out, there are lots of fractions involved. There are lots of fractions. You have 1 by a into a plus d, 1 upon a plus d, 1 upon a plus 2d. So you have lot many fractions here. And the problem is whenever we want to go for elementary row operations, in such cases taking the LCM of fractions would be very bulky. It will be very cumbersome. So definitely we need to find something else to solve the question. And one basic idea that I get here is, let's say we try to get rid of the fractions. हम fractions हटाने की कोशिश करते हैं क्योंकि fractions के साथ add करना बहुत tough हो जाएगा. It would be very complicated. So let's say we try to remove the fractions. Let's get rid of the fractions. And how do I get rid of the fractions? For that I'll multiply the first row with maybe a plus d, a plus 2d, right? And then I'll multiply second row with a plus d, a plus 2d, a plus 3d. All right, and then we multiply the third row R3 with a plus 2d into a plus 3d into a plus 4d. This is what we do, right? So the advantage of doing this will be I'll be getting rid of the denominators. Denominators हट जाएंगे तो फिर हमें addition, subtraction या multiple set subtract करने में आसानी रहेगी. Maybe we might also end up with some standard determinant. तो वो अभी हम देखते हैं. So let's start further now. Maybe we can. So if you have to multiply, then you'll divide also outside the determinant. We have to divide the determinant outside with these particular numbers, right? So let's say on the outside of the determinant, what I'll get is, we'll get 1 upon, we are multiplying the determinant with these particular elements, so outside the determinant you have to divide the determinant with these. So we get 1 upon a, then observe that a plus d appear 2 times. A plus d appears at this position and at this position. Then a plus 2d is at 3 places. We have a plus 2d here, a plus 2d is here, and then a plus 2d is also here. Then a plus 3d whole square, क्योंकि a plus 3d यहाँ पर है और एक यहाँ पर है. And then you have a plus 4d which only appears at this position. So we are done with all the expressions जिनसे हमको multiply divide करना था. And now the determinant looks like a plus d, a plus 2d, a plus 2d, and then a. Similarly, the second row becomes a plus 2d, a plus 3d, a plus 3d, and then a plus d. And the third row becomes a plus 3d, a plus 4d, then you have a plus 4d, and then a plus 2d. We get these particular values. All right, and now maybe the thing becomes easy, because what I observe is that the things have started falling in places. For example, this particular denominator which we were supposed to get in the right side, we have already got here, right? So now we just need to simplify the remaining determinant. So now let's proceed further. So now I get 1 upon So let's say we get this entire expression here as it is times the determinant. Now in this determinant, what I do is I use some transformation. These transformations are that from the third row we are subtracting the second row, and from the second row we are subtracting the first row, right? So now what we get here is let's say from this particular element you have to subtract this, so we get a plus 3d common. So observe carefully, I'm writing it a bit directly, maybe you can think about this orally. This becomes a plus 3d into 2d. Then the next element becomes d, and the next element again becomes d. Similarly, from this element you have to subtract the first row, so this element, these two have to be subtracted. So from here first I take a plus 2d common, and I get 2d into a plus 2d. Then you have again d, and you again have d, and the first row remains as it was, so a plus d, a plus 2d, a plus 2d, and then a. So we get this after applying these two transformations. Maybe now we can take something common from the third row. So from here I can take d common from this third row, and from the second row also I can take d common. So what we get here is d square upon this entire expression times 2a plus 3d 1 1, and then 2 times a plus 2d 1 1, and then the first row which was a plus d, a plus 2d, a plus 2d, and then a. And then again I apply a transformation, which is I'm writing again the third row as R3 minus R2. So we separate because we have these two elements equal. These two elements are equal, so maybe the subtraction gives you 2 zeros. So we're working in that direction. So now this becomes d square upon d square upon d square upon, we get this determinant. From the third row we are subtracting the second row, so we get 2 times d, and from this you have to subtract this, so we take 2 common, then you get a plus 3d minus a plus 2d, which gives you 2d. Then you have 0 0, then we have 2 times a plus 2d 1 1, and then a plus d, a plus 2d, then a plus 2d, and then a. Alright, and now we can expand this along the third row. So this gives you d square upon this entire expression which we were using here into 2d times a plus 2d minus a. So that gives you 4 times d to the power 4 upon this expression, and that completes the proof. This is what we were supposed to prove, right? So if you look at the problem, if you look at the question, this is what we were supposed to prove in the numerator also. We already obtained the denominator, and in the numerator we wanted 4 times d to the power 4, and exactly what we got here, 4 into d to the power 4. So that kind of completes the proof. Alright, so we now move to the next problem. We take the next problem now. Let's take the next example. Okay, yes. So let's take the next problem. Now this is not a JEE problem as such, but then let's see how do we tackle this situation. The first thing is the familiarity, the observation, and the observation will give you some idea that maybe this determinant contains squares. And there was a determinant, if you recall, we had a standard determinant which contained squares, and that was actually King's determinant. So if you observe that this determinant is resembling King's determinant, although I'm not saying that this will necessarily be a King's determinant, this will be solved necessarily using King's determinant, but then that's one of the direction that I can think of. Maybe it might be possible there are more questions on whole squares where you do not use King's determinant, but then here maybe I can think of King's determinant, because what you find is in the King's determinant also these three elements were different. They were squares and they were different. If you recall, this was precisely speaking, this looked like something like, I'm writing it here, it was something like b plus c square, a square, then you had b square times a plus c square, then b square, then c square, and a plus b whole square. This was what the King's determinant looked like. This was what the King's determinant looked like. This was whole square. So if I look at this determinant, this is almost of the same type. That means you have a square here, and in the same way you have b plus c square here, then a plus c square, then a plus c square, and apart from that the first row contained the remaining elements same. So s minus a whole square, a square, a square. Alright, so the question kind of looks similar to the King's determinant, but let's see, the question definitely is different from this. क्वेश्चन जो है ये किंग्स डिटरमिनेंट से रिजेंबल कर रहा है, लेकिन ये डायरेक्टली वो वाली फॉर्म नहीं है जो किंग्स डिटरमिनेंट में होती है. किंग्स डिटरमिनेंट रिक्वायर्ड b plus c whole square in the first term. This contains only a square. So then how do we proceed for the problem? How do we start with the question? So we start with a simple substitution. We start with the substitution. Maybe I assume that s minus a, let's say, is equal to alpha. We assume this. S minus b is equal to beta, and s minus c is equal to gamma. Okay, we assume this. If I add these three, we get 3s minus a plus b plus c plus a plus b plus c should be equal to alpha plus beta plus gamma. All right, and then a plus b plus c itself is 2s. So therefore we get s is equal to alpha plus beta plus gamma. All right, so we get s is equal to alpha plus beta plus gamma. And now from here I can write the value of a is s minus alpha. So the value of a becomes beta plus gamma from using this relation. Think about this. It's very obvious, right? It's very elementary stuff. Similarly, if s is equal to alpha plus beta plus gamma, then the value of b will be s minus beta, and this will be equal to alpha plus gamma. And by the same argument, c will be equal to alpha plus beta. So using these substitutions that a is equal to s minus alpha, b is equal to s minus beta, and b is equal to alpha plus gamma, and c is equal to alpha plus beta. Using these substitutions, the determinant now becomes so for a, I write this quantity, which is beta plus gamma whole square. S minus a is alpha square. You can make out here s minus a is alpha square. Then this is again alpha square. S minus b is beta square. The value of b is alpha plus gamma whole square. S minus b is again beta square. and then you have gamma square and alpha plus beta square. We get this value. And now this is exactly the King's determinant. This is what the King's determinant is. If you look at the things carefully, look at this expression here. This is exactly the King's determinant. And now we are done with the problem. This really solved the question very fast. So now what we get is, the value of this expression now becomes, this is equal to 2 times alpha beta gamma times alpha plus beta plus gamma whole cube. And I am directly using the result of the King's determinant. I am directly using the result here. And this value is again same as, this value is same as 2 times s minus a, s minus b, s minus c from the above substitutions, and alpha plus beta plus gamma that we wrote here was equal to s. So into s cube. And recall that area of the triangle delta, which is area of the triangle, is s into s minus a, s minus b, s minus c square root. Heron's formula. This is Heron's formula, which you have studied in lower grades. So this is Heron's formula. So using Heron's formula, what we get is, the value of the determinant becomes 2 times, I multiply with s minus b, s minus c times s square. So from this s cube, I take 1s with this term, which is same as 2 times, now this becomes delta square times s square. And in fact, this is what we were supposed to prove, and we are done. We required this thing. So this is what we have got here. So that completes the proof of the question. So we are done. So again, the key idea in this question was, being familiar with the standard determinants is useful. If you recall that if we do not know the King's determinant, from here this will take around 7 transformations to get the result. From here it will require 7 more transformations. But then the advantage was, we learned the King's determinant and we use it directly in the problem. So we now take the next example. Let's take another problem now. And this next example, okay. So let's take this problem. This is a pretty interesting problem, because this problem is a kind of representative problem. This is a representative problem, and you particularly use this kind of transformation in some typical situations. We haven't seen this kind of transformation before. We use it in some typical situations. And the first thing is, how do I identify about this? How do we identify that this is a typical situation where I need to go for this particular approach? So the identification of the problem can be done easily by observing a small thing, that the problem will involve a square plus b square plus c square. The problem involves this in some or the other way. या तो ये proving में होगा, either it appears as a part of the proof on the right side, or it appears as a given condition. So the question will be involving a square plus b square plus c square, and you will be given ABC or ABBCC. So the determinant will be containing these terms, and you will be required a square plus b square plus c square. From here I require this. So this is the situation where we use this particular set of transformation. The typical set of transformation in such problems. So this set of transformations कब यूज करना है इसको? जब क्वेश्चन में ए बी सी और ए बी बी सी सी इन्वॉल्व होता हो, और राइट साइड में किसी कंडीशन में ए स्क्वायर प्लस बी स्क्वायर प्लस सी स्क्वायर इन्वॉल्व होता हो, तब हम इस ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. अब ये ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन कैसे इस्तेमाल होता है, तो इस क्वेश्चन के थ्रू ही देखते हैं इसको. लेट्स लुक एट दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. द फर्स्ट थिंग आई ऑब्जर्व इज that the first column contains A, first row first column contains A, second row का पहला कॉलम में भी A आता है and third row का पहला एलिमेंट भी A आता है. So what I observe here is that A is common in all rows. कॉमन से मेरा मतलब इट अपीयर्स है ना, इट अपीयर्स कॉमनली in all rows of first column. So what we do is therefore we multiply the first column with A, and obviously you'll have to divide the determinant with A. You have to divide the determinant with A. I cannot simply multiply. This is simply a row transformation, so I cannot multiply a determinant entire row with A without dividing the determinant with A. So you have to divide the determinant with A also, right? And then again I find B is common in the second column in all the rows. So we again multiply column 2 with B and will obviously divide the determinant with B also. And by the same argument we multiply the third column with C. So what we do is we multiply the first column with A, multiply the second column with B, multiply the third column with C, and outside the determinant will divide with ABC. As a result of this, the question now simplifies to 1 by ABC times A square plus AC, and then A square minus AB. Here you have B square minus BC, B square, AB plus B square, and here you get C square plus BC, C square minus AC, and C square, right? So we multiply, divide the columns with A, B and C, and now comes the interesting part. This is the most interesting part, and the thing is we use this transformation. In the first column I add second and third columns. So what you find is, in the first column if I add this and this, if we add these here, you get A square plus B square plus C square. You get A square plus B square plus C square. So let's proceed further now. So I get 1 upon ABC, and then I use the transformations to obtain A square plus B square plus C square, A square plus B square plus C square. Now we are adding these two in this position, and then we again get A square plus B square plus C square. Remaining elements जैसे थे वैसे ही छोड़ देते. B square minus BC, B square, AB plus B square, C square plus BC, C square minus AC, and then C square. So we leave the remaining elements as they were, and now you can take A square, B square, C square common from the first column. Okay, from the first column we can take A square, B square, C square common from here. We can take B common from the second column, and I can take C common from the third column. As a result of this, I get A square plus B square plus C square, which is common from the first column, ABC जो पहले से बाहर था, and then we took B common and C common from the second and third columns. BC और BC कैंसिल हो जाएंगे. You are left with 1 1 1. This is B minus C, B, A plus B, and then you have B plus C, C minus A, and then C. And once you have three identical elements in a column, we have a fixed transformation, which is, we write R3 as R3 minus R2 and R2 as R2 minus R1. इसको ऐसा लिख लेंगे. तो अब ये बन जाएगा, now this becomes A square plus B square plus C square upon A, and this becomes 0, this becomes A, this becomes A, becomes 0, C, and from here we are subtracting, so get minus A minus B, and then you have 1, B minus C, and B plus C, right? And in fact, if you want, you can now simply expand this along the first column. If you want, you can take A common from the third row, you can take A common from the third row and then expand. So let's say we expand it directly now. So I get A square plus B square plus C square upon A into, if I expand it along the first column, if I expand it along the first column, we get times, this will be AC plus A square plus AB, which is same as A square plus B square plus C square. From here you can take A common to get A plus B plus C. So again, an interesting problem, and it's a very important strategy. Whenever you want A square plus B square plus C square from either ABC or AB plus BC plus CA or AB BC CA involving terms, then we always multiply a column, we always multiply some columns with A, some with B, some with C, or we multiply some rows with A, some rows with B, some rows with C, and then we maybe go for the further transformations, right? So based on the same approach, we move to the next example. It again will use the same. So I'm just going to illustrate the same strategy in one more question, and the next problem is a JEE problem. The next question will be an IIT problem. So let's take the next one. Yeah, so we have this previous IIT question. This question has previously appeared in IIT JEE. This is a JEE question, and this question was a bit tricky and lengthy as far as the calculations were concerned, but then वापस से यदि हमारा observation अच्छा है तो we'll get the idea. The question involves A square plus B square plus C square, and the question involves the terms of A, B, C, and from there I somehow need to use this condition. So that gives us the motivation to start the problem. We have to prove that this is a straight line. We have to prove that this equation represents a straight line, equation of a straight line. So that means I need to prove that this entire determinant, you have to prove that this determinant simplifies to the form maybe capital AX plus some capital BY plus some capital C equal to 0 form. The equation, this particular expression should reduce to this form. So we start with the calculations. We have already observed that the determinant involves A square plus B square plus C square. So let's observe the first column carefully. Let's see if we can find something here. So what I find is A appears in all the terms in the first column. Similarly, B appears in all the terms of the second column, and again C appears in all the terms of the third column. So we will multiply C1 C2, C3 with A, B, C respectively. So what we are doing is we are multiplying the first column with A, we are multiplying the second column with B, and we are multiplying the third column with C, as in the previous question. And let's see what we get from here. So when we multiply, we have to divide it also. So we get A1 upon ABC times. This equation becomes A square x minus ABY minus AC, ABX plus A square y, ACX plus A square. Similarly, the next one becomes B square x plus ABY minus ABX plus B square y minus BC, and then BCY plus B square, and then we multiply the third column with C. So we get C square x plus AC, C square y plus BC minus ACX minus BCY minus plus C square equal to 0. We get this step. All right. And now if you observe for a minute, think yourself, what can we do now? I want A square plus, I want to use this information that A square plus B square plus C square is 1. So let's say if we can do something about it. So yeah, maybe you guessed it right. What we can do here is I use a transformation that in the first column I add second and third columns, right? So in the first column we add the second and third columns. As a result of this, the determinant now looks like x times c. Minus ABY cancels with plus ABY, minus AC cancels with plus AC. So if I add these two in this one, we simply get x times A squared plus B square plus C square. Alright. In the same way, if I look at the next term, ABX cancels with this one, minus BC cancels with plus BC. So if I add, I get simply y times A square plus B square plus C square, and again in the next one we get ACX minus ACX, they two get cancelled out, BCY cancels with minus BCY, and we get simply A square plus B square plus C square, and the remaining elements being same, so you get B square plus ABY minus ABX plus B square y minus BC, BCY plus B square, C square x plus AC, C square y plus BC minus ACX minus BCY plus C square equal to 0. Alright, we get this value. And now we can take, we put this A square plus B square plus C square is given as 1. This was given to be 1 in the question. This value was given as 1. So we use this information. Also, apart from this, इसकी वैल्यू पुट करने के साथ साथ हम इस वाले कॉलम से B कॉमन ले लेंगे और इधर से हम लोग C कॉमन लेंगे. So the next step is we take B common from here and C common from here, and we put A square plus B square plus C square is equal to 1. So this looks like 1 upon A times x y 1 bx plus ay minus ax plus by minus c, cy plus b cx plus a, cy plus b, and minus ax minus by plus c equals to 0. We get this expression. All right. Now obviously one more thing that we observe here is we need to now expand the determinant. So let's try to create as much zeros as possible. So the next transformation that I do is from C2 I subtract b times C1, and from C3 maybe I'll subtract C times C1. We'll subtract this. अब डिटरमिनेंट की वैल्यू आती है हमारे पास. द डिटरमिनेंट नाउ सिंप्लीफाइज टू 1 by a times x y 1, because we are not making any change here, and this becomes, from the second column you have to subtract b times first column. So from this we subtract b times this, so maybe you simply get ay, and then you get minus ax minus c, we get cy here. Now you have to subtract from the third row, you have to subtract c times the first row. So from here I will subtract c times this. So this will give you a, b minus ax minus by equal to 0. So determinant now looks a bit simplified. उतना scary नहीं है expand करने के लिए, but we'll simplify it further, we'll simplify it more. So I use one more transformation, and this transformation is now from in the third row I add x times first row and plus y times second row. In the third row we are adding x times first row, y times second row. So now this becomes 1 by a times, so फर्स्ट टू रोज को तो हम छेड़ नहीं रहते, उनको तो ऐसे ही छोड़ देते हैं. y minus x minus c b. So in the third row we are adding x times first row plus y times second row. Now we are going for this. So this becomes x square plus y square plus 1. Again in the third row we are adding x times, this will be multiplied with x, and then this will be multiplied with y, and then we'll add them here. So what you find is cy gets cancelled with minus cy here, minus cy and plus cy get cancelled out, and then this will be minus axy and plus axy also get cancelled out. So we simply get a 0 here, and again in the third row similarly we will again get 0. Think about this yourself. Okay, so we get a 0 again. So we now get this condition, and once you have 2 zeros here, so I can expand this along third row to get 1 by a times x square plus y square plus 1 into minus a square x minus ac. Sorry, this will be you have to expand it along the third column. So yeah, if we expand it along the third row, then we get a into b into y plus a square x plus ac equal to 0. And now from this particular bracket you can take a common, and this a will cancel with the denominator here. So I now get x square plus y square plus 1 times ax plus by plus c equal to 0. And obviously this value cannot be 0, so this implies ax plus by plus c 0, and this is indeed equation of a straight line. This is indeed the equation of a straight line. So again, question otherwise is a simple problem, but then the key idea is how do we start with the problem. And to start the problem, again you have to be comfortable with this observation. This observation becomes very important here. Alright, so we now take the next example, and we'll learn something more interesting there. So this is the question. This is again a IIT JEE problem. और इस क्वेश्चन की खास बात क्या थी, यू हैव टू रिमेंबर द बेसिक थंब रूल कि देखो it is desirable to have two zeros in a row or column. Desirable to have two zeros in some row or column, but is not necessary. Actually हम दो zeros क्यों बना रहे हैं? Because दो zeros बनाने से determinant जल्दी expand होगा. Will be saving time if we have two zeros in some row or column. बट सपोज दो जीरोस बनाने में ही बहुत टाइम जा रहा हो तो इट मेक सेंस कि हम थोड़े कम जीरो बना के एक्सपेंड कर लें. सो क्रिएटिंग टू जीरोस इज नॉट अ रूल, इट इज नॉट अ रूल है ना, ये दो जीरो बनाना कोई रूल नहीं है, ये हम कन्वीनियंस के लिए बनाते हैं टू सेव टाइम. बट इफ दिस इटसेल्फ इज टेकिंग लॉट्स ऑफ टाइम, देयर इज नो पॉइंट इन क्रिएटिंग टू जीरोस इन सम रो और कॉलम. इन दैट केस यू कैन एक्सपैंड द डिटरमिनेंट डायरेक्टली. सो दिस पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम दैट वी आर गोइंग टू टेक नाउ, व्हिच इज एक्चुअल JEE क्वेश्चन, it requires a basic notion from your concept of straight lines, and this says that if three lines, I am using this result directly which is from class 11th, that if the three lines a1x plus b1y plus c1 equal to 0, a2x plus b2y plus c2 equal to 0, and a3x plus b3y plus c3 equal to 0 are concurrent, then this determinant becomes 0. The coefficient determinant a1 b1 c1, a2 b2 c2, a3 b3 c3, this determinant becomes 0. These are coefficients of x, y, z. So this is a1 b1 c1 in the first row, a2 b2 c2 in the second row, a3 b3 c3 in the third row. We are not going into the proof of this. And what do we mean by concurrent lines? The concurrent lines are the lines which are intersecting at one point. These kind of lines L1, L2, L3 are called concurrent lines. So I am using this result directly, and you have to learn this. This is important from JEE point of view. So in this question, you are given that these three lines are concurrent. So obviously if these are concurrent, then that means their coefficient determinant P A yeah, maybe chalo, let's use the row wise instead of column. So you have P B C A Q C and A B R is equal to 0. In this question there was one more information which I haven't specified here. You were given that A is not equal to P, B is not equal to Q, C is not equal to R. This was given to you in the question. This was given. This is given to you. So since these three lines are concurrent, therefore this determinant is 0. And now we start by creating some zeros. So you get, which implies 0 b minus q r minus c a minus p q minus p 0 p b c equal to 0. So probably you have guessed it correct. I'm going for the transformation. R3 is R3 minus R2 and R2 is R2 minus R1. I'm going for this set of transformation. So this now implies, now I expand it, and this is surprising because normally we try to create some more zeros, we try to take some factors common, but in this question I am simply expanding it, and I am expanding it along maybe you can choose anyone. Let's say choosing the third row. So you get plus minus, so you get 0 minus b minus q 0 into 0, the first factor is 0, so you get 0, and from here you get minus times b minus q into its cofactors. Now its cofactors, if you recall, will be, you have to leave this and you have to leave this, so the cofactor becomes 0 minus c times a minus p, and then plus r minus c times its cofactors. So that gives you p into q minus p minus b into a minus p equals to 0. नॉर्मली हम लोग ने कभी भी डिटर्मिनेंट को अभी तक बहुत कम क्वेश्चंस में ऐसा करा होगा कि इसी स्टेज पे एक्सपैंड करो, बट देन समटाइम्स इट बिकम्स एब्सोल्युटली नेसेसरी. दो जीरोस बनाने में अगर टाइम ज़्यादा जा रहा है तो फिर बेटर होता है कि हम सीधे इसको एक्सपैंड कर लें. अच्छा, नाउ लेट्स सिंप्लीफाई दिस एक्सप्रेशन. सो द फर्स्ट टर्म बिकम्स c टाइम्स a minus p b minus q. Second term becomes plus p times q minus p r minus c minus b times r minus c a minus p equal to 0. And now we divide both sides with now see, I wanted in the denominator we wanted p minus a, q minus p, r minus c. So what we do is we divide the both sides with the same quantities, that is we divide both sides with p minus a into q minus b into r minus c. As a result of this we get c into, now a minus, I write this, a minus p b minus q upon p minus a q minus b r minus c plus p times q minus p r minus c upon p minus a q minus p r minus c minus b times r minus c a minus p upon p minus a q minus b r minus c equals to 0. So we get this step, and now you observe some cancellations. A minus p cancels with p minus a, giving you a minus 1, a negative 1, and b minus q cancels with q minus p to again give you a negative 1. So we get minus 1 square times this. In the second bracket, q minus b cancels with q minus p directly, r minus c cancels with r minus c. In the third bracket, r minus c cancels with r minus c, and a minus p cancels with p minus a, giving you a negative 1. So this expression now simplifies to c upon r minus c plus p upon p minus a, and this is minus of minus becomes plus, so we get plus b upon q minus b equal to 0. Alright, so let's see हमें वैल्यू किसकी चाहिए थी in the question. Okay, so in the question now we want PQR in the numerators. The numerator should contain PQR, and the numerators that we have here are C. This is a problem and this is a problem. This numerator is correct. We wanted P in the numerator. We had the term of P upon P minus A. So what we do is let's try to do some manipulation. So a simple manipulation would be, I write it as C minus R plus R upon R minus C. सेकेंड टर्म में मुझे कोई चेंज नहीं करना, तो P अपॉन P माइनस ए, और थर्ड टर्म में भी हम B माइनस क्यू प्लस क्यू अपॉन क्यू माइनस B equals to 0. Alright, and now if I simplify this, you get C minus R upon R minus C plus R upon R minus C plus P upon P minus A plus B minus Q upon Q minus P plus Q upon Q minus B. So what I have done simply is मैंने इसको split कर दिया ना. We have taken this term with this denominator and then we have taken this term with the denominator. इसी तरह से यहाँ पे we have taken C minus R upon R minus C plus R upon R minus C. So this is what we got here. So in the same way we have simplified the remaining terms also. Equal to 0. Now this quantity is minus 1 plus R upon R minus C plus P upon P minus A. This quantity is again minus 1 plus Q upon Q minus B equals to 0. Alright, and now if I simplify this, rearrange, so get P upon P minus A plus Q upon Q minus B plus R upon R minus C equals to 2. So the value of this expression becomes 2, and this is the required answer. Now I am deliberately choosing the problems where you learn something. They are not the routine calculation, there are some strategies involved, and one important strategy is definitely creating two zeros in some row or column, but then it is not the rule. उसका तभी फायदा है जब आप ये प्रोसेस बहुत जल्दी कर पाओ. So now I take another example, maybe the last example to illustrate the properties and transformations. So let's take one more question now. Yeah, so maybe I'll not solve it entirely, I'll just give you some hint and you'll solve the question yourself. So now in this question you are given some complicated looking expressions. You're given this. Okay, so wait a minute, if I look at this expression, does this side reminds you of some formula? Does it remind you of some formula? Think about this. We have maybe studied it somewhere. Yeah, that's right. It's simply something to do with distance formula. This is distance formula. And it is this. The distance formula is, if there are 2 points A x1 y1 and B x2 y2, then the distance AB squared is given by x2 minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. Alright. So what I do is, let's say I assume let A be a point x1 comma y1, B be a point x2 comma y2, and let's say C be a point x3 comma y3. I assume this. So as soon as I assume this part, from the first relation, from this particular relation, what I get is that AB squared must be equal to A square. which implies AB length must be equal to small a. In the same way, from the second relation, this one, from this relation, maybe you can make out that BC is equal to B, because this yellow shaded relation gives you the distance between the points x2 comma y2 and x3 comma y3. So the points x2 y2 and x3 y3, so the distance between them is BC. And then the third relation that we get here is the distance AC is equal to C. From this one, from here you get the distance AC is equal to C. So now this is again the trick is as usual, which I told you is, which will always work in most of the cases, is observation. This is the secret of solving this question, observation. So the first observation I made was a distance formula. Alright, now if I look at this particular right side of the determinant, let's say I construct a triangle first to understand the situation. Let's say we have a triangle A, B, C, and A has the coordinate x1 comma y1, C has the coordinate x3 comma y3, B has the coordinate x2 comma y2, and then we had the length AB is equal to A, so AB length is A, AC length is C, and BC length is B. So we have these three coordinates which form the vertices of a triangle, and we have these three lengths A, B and C. Alright, now this quantity, the first quantity on the right side, observe that this denotes 2s. This second quantity denotes 2s minus 2a, where s is equal to 2s is equal to a plus b plus c. The third quantity becomes 2s minus 2b, and this becomes 2s minus 2c. So this entire right side, the entire right side is equal to 4 times, this will be 16 times s into s minus a into s minus b into s minus c, which is 16 times area of the triangle squared using Heron's formula. So the right side is 16 times area of the triangle whole squared. Now using the result of the coordinate geometry, we know that area of this triangle, area of the triangle ABC from the coordinate geometry must be equal to half determinant of x1 y1 1, x2 y2 1, x3 y3 1. Now this is a well known formula in coordinate geometry, area of the triangle whose vertices are x1 y1, x2 y2 and x3 y3. So area of this triangle is this value, and therefore delta square will be equal to 1 by 4 times equal to this. Alright, so therefore 16 times delta square will be equal to 4 times the determinant whole squared. We actually multiply both the sides with 16. So 16 delta square is equal to this, and this is the left hand side. And 16 delta square is, as we saw, 16 delta square is your right hand side, and this determinant is your left hand side, right? So that completes the proof. So again, a very simple problem based on a simple observation of distance formula, and it utilizes a standard formula for area of triangle from coordinate geometry. So with this we end this session on the problem solving strategies on determinants. In the next video, we'll try to understand the multiplication of determinants and differentiation of determinants. Also, we'll look at something called Jacobi's theorem, which is an important theorem in linear algebra.